Welcome to She Speaks, Voices of Empowerment. I'm Anne-Marie.
And I'm Shantae, and we're thrilled to have you join us on this incredible journey.
In each episode, we'll explore the inspiring world of women's stories through candid conversations with remarkable women from various industries.
From life advice and personal growth to navigating careers and breaking barriers, our guests will share their journeys, insights, and the valuable lessons they've learned along the way.
So whether you're looking for motivation, practical advice, or just a good dose of inspiration, She Speaks is your go-to podcast for celebrating the strength and resilience of women everywhere.
So prepare to be inspired and empowered as we uncover the power of sharing our stories.
Let's start speaking!
Hey girl!
Hey girl, how are you?
I'm good, I'm healthy, no sickness in this house.
Healthy for the win.
And you?
I'm healthy, girl.
Should I tell them?
you can.
So Anne-Marie is experimenting with cheese.
With dairy.
And yesterday I saw her, and the first thing she said was, she said, I ate a celebratory pizza.
And my stomach is good.
That's why we love you.
That's what I bring to the table.
You bring so much more. But guys, we are again very excited. We've got Amy Hulley,
the owner of Alive Heated Fitness Studios
in Somerset West, with us today.
Guys, incredible woman, incredible studio, an honor having her on the podcast. And we thought that she's just a business owner, but her mind, her brain,
yes,
her business ability,
yes,
incredible.
She also comes from a corporate background, and the way that she's integrated what she's learned into her business model now, it's just incredible. You would think Alive Heated Fitness, it's only about the fitness side, but she's even speaking about the customer journey, customer satisfaction. What is she doing to make sure that any person that comes into this establishment enjoys it and carries the same heart that she's carrying for this business? So it's just amazing to hear how you can have passion and heart for something, but it doesn't happen just like that. You need to make very strategic and specific decisions to be able to run a business like this. And we're just so excited for you guys to hear what she's talking about, because she's incredible.
This is going to be both a very inspirational episode on, hey, if you've had a dream, just do it. Yes. Just follow the dream. But I feel like it's also some business advice, because I sat here thinking like, I need to rewatch this because some of these things I'm going to be using.
When we're editing, we can listen to it over and over again.
Fun times.
Yeah, but it's such a good episode. And you guys will just hear her heart behind why she started Alive, her mindset and thinking around why she's carrying on this specific brand, and then just the business side of it. A lot to learn, and we're just so grateful that she joined us.
Thank you, Amy.
Welcome, Amy.
Welcome, Amy.
Thanks, guys.
We're excited to speak about you in your Somerset West business.
Your growing, thriving business.
Yes. Can we just kick it off? Can you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Awesome. So my name is Amy Hulley, and I've had quite a career, but in the best possible way. If you told me when I was younger how sort of my life would have unfolded, I would have been like, no ways would this be the journey that I would be on. So I started out family, very health and fitness orientated. My mom was a Pilates instructor. We had a full-blown reformer Cadillac window chair set up at home. So it was very much so ingrained in the way that I grew up. But it was always quite boring for me at that stage, to be honest with you. I don't think I was in the mind space to enjoy what it meant to slow down, because the hype always was what excited me most. From the fitness side of things, grew up dancing, grew up doing Pilates, grew up being very active. My parents both were comrades runners.
That's so cool.
My dad did 12 comrades.
What?
So it's always been a part of who I've been. My brother owns a health and fitness technology company in Dubai. So they basically run Dubai health and fitness events. And yeah, my sister, who has been, and we'll talk more about her, but a massive inspiration in my life, she passed away. She also was huge fitness, gymnast. And so, yeah, got into basically the working world. I owned a recruitment company, which I worked in for 15 years, doing hen hunting.
Need those eggs.
So basically doing headhunting across the globe. So I've worked on some of the coolest projects in the world, namely the Giga projects in Saudi Arabia, yeah. NEOM, I don't know if you've heard of NEOM or...
Was it in the technology space that you were doing?
Correct. So you might have heard of the line, 130K long building across the desert in Saudi. So I was doing all the executive hiring on those projects along with a team, which was phenomenal. I worked with some of the most incredible people in the world. And had money, status, ego-driven things, hype-driven. You know, this is everything that the world tells you that you should want and you should be pushing towards.
It's the corporate dream. I mean, if you can do that over the whole world.
Absolutely. And I was really thriving from the external sense, but absolutely demolishing my inner self. And yeah, we get to a very deep point quite quickly, but I am also one of those people who I believe my purpose is now greater. And not to say that I'm a guru in any capacity, but I've come to a point where I've really made the decision to live my life authentically. And that's come with a real death of ego, because ultimately starting a studio to be a fitness instructor, coming from a very successful corporate career, doesn't sound like success. But this has been the greatest success I've ever achieved. No amount of money that I've earned previously could relate to how beneficial and impactful and deep the work is that I'm doing at the moment. So yeah, so basically we started Alive a year ago. It'll be 1 year old on the 1st of July, so we're still in infancy stage.
Yeah. And you wouldn't say that by looking at the brand and what you've already accomplished.
That's the thing, because I remember, so there's a girl that goes to, or woman that goes to Alive as well, and I remember we went to the same gym, and she's like, oh my word, there's this really cool Pilates studio opening up, and I'm like, okay, you know, like I'm kind of in the market for a Pilates studio, and then she's like, yeah, it's called Alive Heated Fitness. I'm like, okay, yeah, you know, I'll check it out. And obviously from the start, it was such an aesthetic place. And I was just like, little Somerset West, like Pilates life. Like, I love this. And I think it was probably like end of July that I came for my first class, and I just fell in love. It was literally like love at first sight from the moment, and also like
and
the
now
people.
She's converting everybody.
Literally everyone.
To come.
Literally everyone.
And you do it like that sort of stuff means the world. You know, when you've got a genuine concept and idea and you take it out to the world, it's the most vulnerable feeling, because every part of you is telling you imposter syndrome. I can't do this. I don't know how to do this. But ultimately, when you keep people at the forefront and actually movement and the principles that are going to keep us healthy and happy, the game changes.
That's so crazy to hear, like the fact that you also feel imposter like syndrome, because I remember when I saw this fitness studio for the first time, I thought to myself, oh my word, these people, like, this is going to be so successful. It's amazing that they've actually converted their dreams into reality. And even hearing you say this might not be the definition of success, literally in my eyes, I was like, wow, this is so amazing. Yeah. So it makes me both sad, but I guess it's also very relatable, the fact that someone, I don't know, I think that you're incredibly successful, that you've experienced that.
I think it's a reality for everyone. It doesn't matter what world you're stepping into. There's a feeling of comparison in everything that we do. And I think that's both the blessing and the curse of social media, because every single aspect of information that you're putting into your brain is telling you, oh, this is different to what's being done, or this is not good enough, or oh, I've got to worry about this new trend that is possibly toxic but is being labeled as a positive trend.
Especially in the fitness arena.
Huge.
But can we quickly go back to you transitioning from corporate to starting your own business? Can you tell us a bit about that process? When you had to actually step down and say, I'm not going to do this anymore, I'm going to be more authentic. What did that process look like?
Oh, very good question. in many, many ways, an absolute breakdown. Honest truth. Yeah. It
must be so scary.
It was a moment of grief because everything almost that I lived for and breathed for. I mean, when I was doing my peak headhunting work, I was working until 1 in the morning. I didn't take a day off in 10 months. You know, there was just such a bad dependency on busyness and pushing to the maximum always. At that stage as well, funnily enough, I was pushing in terms of my body. I was doing the hectic fitness, which was requiring no slowing down. You know, everything was about endurance, pushing myself. I was trying to run. And I'm not innately a runner. God bless you, runners. God bless you, runners. Because that's really a mentality thing to either choose to do or not. But I was trying to fit into the box of what I thought I should be. And that was the definition that I'd created. I take full accountability for the fact that I set up these expectations for myself. I'm my own biggest critic. But Brené Brown, number one, just teaching me the valuable lesson of being vulnerable and what that actually means and what it translates to. And then just being honest about knowing what you don't know. And, you know, so moving that shift from being the woman that walks into the room to talk about return on investment, to talk about KPIs, to talk about team development and executive salaries. You know, there was something that I deemed successful about being the person that coordinated that type of conversation, to now being the person that walks into a studio and says, "What's up, bad bitches?" And that was quite an interesting shift, you know. But I've found that the more that I showed up exactly who I was and leaned into the fact that I've always been uncomfortable in my body myself, how do we get over this? But not as an individual. How do we as a collective come together and learn to be more gentle with ourselves? And I truly believe that standard is set with women looking at another woman and being like, "I support you. I see you. I'm here for you."
100%. 100%. And that's why I love coming to the studio, because it's not just about accountability, because accountability is good, but the support structure is even better. Me, I miss a couple of days. Melissa reaches out like, "Hey, why haven't I seen you?" And it's just like, do you know what? I'm not just a number. I'm actually like seen. I'm part of the community, yeah.
And that's huge.
Yeah. But even for me, listening to your story, it's encouraging, because coming from that corporate background, I'm also in corporate. I know that hustle bustle culture, and if you get into it, you feel good about yourself. Like, oh, look at all these things that I'm accomplishing. But the fact that you decided for yourself, this is what I want to do, and you stepped away from it, I can imagine you must have had difficult conversations, having to almost prove that, oh, I am making a better decision for myself, where people might not understand.
The most common feedback I got was, "You're going to do yoga, bar, and Pilates. Why are you wasting your talents?"
No.
Truly. Yeah, because the way that I show up in the corporate world is impressive, you know. I know that I have the ability to put that hat on, and I'll never forget, I sat across from a businessman who was really emphatic about investing in me. And this was pretty much at a crucial point in my career where I was deciding, this is not healthy. The feelings that you are feeling every day are not healthy, yet you are pushing yourself to continue because of what you deem to be successful.
I'm so sorry. We've got a technical issue.
Wait, why? Sorry?
No, don't worry.
It might happen again.
Don't stress, this is a coffee. So was having these feelings of like, is this all that there is to life? The stress was killing me. I was working these huge projects. When I say huge, I was working an executive director of mansions design in Saudi, where they were to build 21 ultra-luxury mansions, ranging at between $150 million and $500 million each. And they were gifts.
What?
These were gifts from the Crown Prince. So, I mean, everyone. So, and I was finding the person who was going to design, these, but nothing is good enough. And ultimately, when you're dealing with people's lives and these incredibly talented people, and only one person gets the job right, but you have to form the relationship, and it's a year-long process. You have to string these people along for a year just in case people pull out, or there's just a level of, I feel like I'm not being genuine to people and their lives and their kids. And so I walked away from the financial aspect, which has been huge. I mean, at that stage, I was the country director for Africa for MRG Global, which, great, was wonderful. I ran my own search firm before and after that. So yeah, lots of hard conversations, lots of, I can't believe you've made this decision, you've let us down. And the hardest part was that was never what I wanted to do. Like, for me, letting people down or feeling like I'm letting people down is incredibly meaningful to me, and it's something that I sit with. So it was grief. I had to go through a process of mourning what was a previous Amy, to rebirth, and it's truly felt like a rebirth into this new Amy, in which I'm still learning the boundaries. I'm still learning things every day. We all are, but there's something really beautiful about saying, I don't know what I don't know.
And also that thing of people saying, you let me down, but if you would have stayed, you would have let yourself down. You actually decided to look after yourself, and in that process, you're helping so many other people. So for me, that's just so amazing, that really the thing of being authentic, you're pitching up where you want to be and where you can make a change.
Absolutely. And what better way to do it than helping people learn themselves for the first time what it means to move their body. That mind-body connection is something that I think I only got after I was 30. And it's truly a deep knowing in your body where muscles connect. And the emphasis on your breath. And how we've been, in many ways, really, and I can't think of the word right now, but it's been ingrained in our thinking that pushing, cardio, intensity, that is what drives results. Slowing down to speed up is what drives results.
Yeah. I was that cardio girl that just wanted to cardio, be out of breath and sweat. And now I can see the benefit of slowing down and doing things properly and actually seeing how I feel like afterwards. It's amazing. Yeah.
I don't want to always be that person that draws the attention to this in every single podcast episode on fitness. But I think also just being women, our bodies aren't necessarily made to go, no, that's also not the right way to say it, but a lot of fitness, I guess, myths or truths are relative truths. They're truths that are true to maybe the male body versus the female body. Because no, it's not that we can't do what they do, because we obviously can, and there are so many amazing female athletes out there. But we have a certain cycle that they don't have. And I guess conditioning ourselves to also work out in terms of the cycle and, slowing down when we need to slow down, maybe being a bit more active when we can be a bit more active, just embracing that cycle. And and the beauty of it, because we're the only ones that's made with that cycle, and just embracing it and working out with it, with the cycle, I think that's a win. For any woman that's hacked that's it's just a win.
It's interesting that you say that, because literally this morning, the meeting that I came from before this, the lady said that she had been doing some previous sort of CrossFit-like training, hardcore, and she said, I didn't see results. And then I started training like a woman.
Yeah.
And not that it is to be sided with masculine or feminine, but there definitely are movements and breathwork exercises that are constituted as more feminine in output, that are producing way better results, way less injury, on a whole. If you look at the types of pregnancies that people are having now, because they are training for their body within the cycle of their pregnancy, they're listening. They're not pushing through. In your cycle, in terms of your period, in terms of the relative phases that you go through, there are going to be things that and again, this is hate it or love it. You can choose. There are some people that vehemently say, I will not train for my cycle. That's ridiculous. You can, of course, choose to believe that. But at the same time, I can tell you, if you listened a bit more carefully to your body, you'd start listening more.
Yes, and you will enjoy it more.
You will, because you're not forcing yourself to be doing something that your body really isn't happy to do at that stage. I mean, on day one of your period, to do anything hectic is not going to be the best idea. Not number one, you don't want to be there. Number two, your body's drained, it's tired. So yeah, you have to listen to what your body's telling you.
Can I go to your business
Do the
plans?
business,
Yeah, I've got many questions there. So you and your husband run this business together. Oh, I also want to know the dynamic about how is it to work with your husband, but we'll get there later. When you guys decided we're doing this, corporate aside, you're done with it, we're doing this. How did you guys do like a competitor analysis or market research? How did you know this will be successful? If we look at the traditional gym arena, what was your thinking around it?
And why Somerset West? I know, okay, maybe I shouldn't say, but why Somerset West? Because there's Stellenbosch, Cape Town. So yeah, it's just it would be interesting to know.
Yeah, so basically I lived in the States for 3 years, where at the time I was headhunting. I was working for an international firm, again, doing incredibly well, really enjoying the States in general, the quality of things, because things there are just at a different level, right? And it really set a standard for me in terms of health and fitness specifically, of what I saw the opportunity in South Africa to be. Now, Cape Town is obviously quite well established with this sort of thing. But when I came back, so there Okay. So when I was in the States, I was desperately lonely. And this is the honest truth. I mean, at that point, my lowest point came when I was buying bread in a supermarket. And there was a lady who was choosing almost the same bread as me. And I looked at her and I was like, oh my gosh, we both like this bread. I think we should be friends. And I came home and I said that, and there was just this like, no. We don't do that. We don't, on the basis of a bread choice, choose to make friends with people. And so I decided I'm going to join a gym, and I joined a Body Alive in the States, which was amazing. I taught bar for them, and it just, something in me came to life because I am a dancer. That's my, I've been a dancer since I was 3. And the way that the music integrates with the body and the movement, and it just felt really good to move in that way. And I was trained by a lady by the name of Amelia Kabaki, she's one of the top bar trainers in the world. So I learned from the absolute best. She was a drill sergeant in terms of precision, and she was just such an inspiration to learn from, that I quickly learned what would be acceptable and what was setting a standard. And that's what I always that was my ballpoint range, is how do we set the standard. So when I came back, and obviously corporate life wasn't making the turn I wanted it to have, and I thought, there's nothing like this here. There, at that stage, was no hot Pilates, hot bar, there was obviously hot yoga, but there was no hot Pilates in the Western Cape. So we were the first studio to do that, which was awesome. But Rich basically just believes in me 100 million%. And I think that is the most freeing space to be in, to know that someone just genuinely believes in who you are as a person. And I don't think I could ask for more than that. To just have a partner that says, don't be afraid. You've got this. And so, people often see Alive and see the business and see me, but he is absolutely the rock behind the foundation of the business. He keeps, he's the calm to my storm. Where it is one of those ones where I am crazy, I am vibing out, and he's like, love, let's just bring it down. Okay? We're going to bring it down. So we function really well together. And he just said to me, let's take the risk. Let's do it. I thankfully built up a nest egg from doing the corporate work that I did, so I had the financial ability to do it, because people just think it's a quick thing, You're like, going to start a studio. The financial investment, the commercial investment of time to resources, to strategic advisors. You know, it requires a level of business acumen that isn't often brought into the equation when people make the decision. And I think that's probably the biggest failing, is understanding it's not just a fitness space, it's a holistic space. And how do we make sure that every point in our customer journey, they feel like they're dealing with something that they need help with?
Yeah. I love that you're talking about customer journey as well. If I think about any corporate space, the customer journey is how you can actually grow your business. Because the way that people interact with you, the way that people engage with you on any level, that speaks about your brand. So whether it is on the app, trying to get onto your platform, going to your classes, what they're experiencing, like thinking about every single point, was that something that you were also focused on?
Every single day. So I'm someone, I've always said I'm tough to work for, because I'm never going to apologize for having a standard. There is a standard, there is an expectation, and there are more than enough fitness studios for people to attend if it doesn't work for them. But for me, I'm fiercely protective over the culture that we have created. And there is a lack of toxicity that we try our level best to keep out of the equation, because generally fitness equals toxicity in some way, shape or form, whether that be comparison, whether that be bitchiness, whether that be people feeling super, super vulnerable. And I just wanted to create a space where those who are healing, those who have no idea where to start, moms who have just re-entered a new phase of life where they are effectively coming back as a new human being with half of the resources. How do we protect those people and not let them feel vulnerable walking into a space? And it starts from the first message that they receive from you. Starts from the way that you greet them, starts from the way that you ask them about injuries, but you still make mistakes. Every day there are going to be mistakes, and being graceful enough to say, I'm so sorry that was your experience, let me try and make it better for you. It's the only thing that you can do.
And that's why you guys are so successful, because you actually think about the people coming in. I can speak to that. I was a new mom coming to your studio for the first time, and I was terrified because I wasn't exercising. I got in there, Melissa asked me, what have you been doing? Any injuries? She actually looked after me through the whole process, and it just made me feel, okay, I can come back. It's a vulnerable thing going into a studio, because you think like, oh, no, everybody knows what they're doing, but you can come as you are and enjoy yourself and get fit.
And also, I think a couple of times I was the only person in the class. I remember starting out like, it's not the case anymore, because we've been seeing everything is either like a wait list, or you have to book in advance, or we'll let you know if a spot opens up, which is amazing. But I remember even being the only person in class, I mean, the class was held as if the class is full. Like the standard didn't drop just because, it's not a full class. And I think I remember the first time that I was the only person, I actually went home and I told my husband, like, you won't believe it. Like, she had like a full class and I was the only person there, but it was like a full class. And it was just, I don't know, even like the level of voice, like, okay, pulse it out, guys. It's like, it's only me, but I'm pulsing. So no, I think also just speaking from that, like the standard, it's just incredible.
Yeah. Ultimately, if people feel important and that they feel valued and that they matter, they're going to show up in their, in the best way that they can. Yeah. I can't tell you the amount of times you never know what people are going through, and I think that's a huge something, where I had a girl who came in and she looked incredible. I mean, like 10 out of 10, bombshell babe. She walked in and the aesthetics of the studio, like she loved them. And then we sat, for some reason it was just her and I alone for a little while. And we sat and I just said, I'm really glad you're here. What is your why? Why are you here? And she sort of got taken aback and she's like, I've actually been diagnosed with cancer. And I don't know what to do. And I don't know how to be. And I feel like my life is no longer the same. And I have no idea where to start. And I get like goosebumps. Yeah, because in that moment, it was just so interesting. And everything became clear to me. As trendy as we look, as divine as the mirrors with the lights and the signs, and I never wanted to be a space that only looks good. Yeah. You know, I want it to be a feeling. Because coming alive is a feeling. It's a feeling. So reiterating that constantly has, yeah.
And what are like some challenges that you faced? Okay, I've probably there's probably like you're like, where do I begin?
Yeah, let me open my book.
But I think it's nice to also hear like what are the challenges, but then also just maybe some triumphs. You know, like when you really felt like, oh my word, you know, maybe moving into a new studio or new studio space. What are some key moments for you that were challenges and versus triumphs?
Sure. So I remember our first launch. I mean, I actually should send or post the photos, because our first launch, it was like 20 people there, I think. 20 people. It was like people were like milling around in the room being like, oh, this is nice. We didn't really know anyone. We were new to Somerset West, you know, as people. I've now been here since 2021. So, you know, but it started when I was in my corporate business here. So there wasn't that established relationship. We were just like, wow, we're going to do this. Take it to 10 months down the line, we had over 100 people.
At this latest one.
Amazing.
Yo!
Which was incredible. We launched a retail line, you know, bigger studio, shower. But it's been incredibly challenging to get there, because things that you've never assumed to be problems, that, like for instance, the wait list. Great, sounds great. Great problem to have, right? No. Because all my regular clients that have been with me since the very beginning, if they don't book, they can't get in. And that's probably the hardest thing in the world, to have these people who've supported you consistently message you to say, hey, can't get into class tomorrow, I need it. This is a part of my week. Yes. We have a capacity. Yeah. Sure. What do you do? You know, you also cannot force people to come to a fitness class that they've actually paid for. So if people pay and don't come, it's not great, but there's very little that you can do about it. And I'm not going to be the place to say, come to the Pilates, you know? So that's been a huge challenge, is coping with the growth. That means sometimes disappointing people that are really big supports. Big challenge. Big challenge. Another huge challenge is actually finding out what people like. Because
how do you do that? What is the process?
Market research is the most beautiful thing. So for me, before I started Alive, I did the most intense competitor analysis. I looked at the top studios across the world to see what they were doing, how they were doing it. Literally, when I say SWOT analysis, I mean filling in the blocks.
I wanted to ask you if you did the SWOT analysis.
Filling in the blocks. Doing the right foundational work to make sure that our purpose was truly aligned with what we were creating. And yeah, I blended the feelings of both hype as well as calm, because again, people need to slow down to speed up. Yeah. And I don't want people to think that they should be doing power classes for every day of the week, because that's not the truth. Yeah. You should be doing a stretch and mobility class for 1 day or 2 days, a yoga, a Pilates, a bar, a walk outside. It's the culmination of movement that actually produces genuine changes in your body.
I think I guess the challenge opening up the studio, like in anticipation of opening up Alive, like what was probably a challenge?
Suppliers. So like any home renovation, doing a studio is the costs are huge. Yeah. For instance, if you're working with a heated studio, our heaters were the most important and, you know, a financially straining investment that we could make, but we wanted them to be a quality of infrared, because we believe in the healing purpose of infrared. I mean, it's great for body regeneration of cells, detoxing, sleep, you name it. There's a positive purpose for it. So I knew I wanted to invest in that, but financially that was a big toll. So we had to dim down on a couple of things that I was like, okay, these are not my non-negotiables, but in round two, we got to do that.
Yeah, like if it's a future goal.
Absolutely, which is super important for any business, is Yeah.
And then choosing your instructors, did you also have a specific, like, this is a type of person that I want to have part of the brand?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think you're always going to make mistakes when hiring people. It's what happens. You know, things will work, things won't work. People will react in ways that you can never anticipate because we're humans and we're not robots. Yeah. And working with people is always the most challenging aspect of any business, managing people. Because, so thankfully, I'm an Enneagram practitioner, and I don't know if you guys know what the Enneagram is.
I know about it, but I don't know the detail.
I don't know detail either. I've just been filled in a little bit.
Okay, so the Enneagram is a huge sort of foundation of the way in which I operate as a professional. So I'm an Enneagram practitioner for both teams, individuals, as well as couples. And now what this is in the corporate world, it's a personality testing assessment used for team dynamics as well as individual development. In a home relationship, it's teaching your partner how to communicate with you, teaching your partner how to hear you, and then most importantly with self, to learn how to listen to self. So basically there's 9 different types, and everyone was like, oh, why are you putting me into a box? I don't want to be in a type. No, it's not that at all. It's understanding, like you have a base flavor of an ice cream that you might have. That's your core flavor. But then you've got 8 different toppings in varying degrees of strength that show up as well. And to understand that you are parts of a whole that are made up in different levels, and to acknowledge those levels as authentically as possible is super freeing. So having that base of sort of being able to read people for a living, and I say that very quietly because everyone's like, don't psychoanalyze me. Yeah.
You don't know me, you don't know my struggles. You don't know my story.
But even with your corporate experience, I mean, being a headhunter, you needed to read people in order to know, okay, you will be a good fit for this company. Yeah. So I think that also comes in.
Well, that's how it all started, basically, was that personality testing assessments to show that the candidates were the right hires. So it's been great because I've been able to use it from a serious business sense and go to executives and say, this is why your team should be using the Enneagram, because their performance will increase by 48% based on the sheer fact that they feel like their communication platforms are tailored to how they communicate. So like, for instance, going into a corporate environment, some people don't like to be bothered at their desk while they are working. So to have a sign up on your desk that says, hey, I'm a number 5. I'm concentrating. I'm in my zone.
It helps. Yeah. We did something like that at work, but it was very, well, toned down. So it wasn't the Enneagram. It was that colors, the blue, red, yellow, green. Yeah, the disc one. And it was just so interesting because most of the people that I work with is blue, and high blue is like focus, don't want to talk, just give them the detail and then go.
Exactly.
Where it's interesting to know the different people. So who are you looking for?
Well, it's interesting.
High D's.
Yeah.
Me, she's looking for me now.
You would actually be a really good instructor.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, do you offer like training, instructor training?
Yeah, so
cool.
We do bar teacher training, and I'm actually having my next one on the 28th of June. Yeah, but basically it's an add-on course for those who are existingly qualified. So either you're a Pilates or a personal trainer. Reason being is that the anatomy and physiology element of training the body is huge, and something that I never want to take away from the importance.
And you don't want people to just be able to walk in and be like, oh, you know, I'm good at this. Let me do it. I also don't want someone like that teaching me. I'd rather have something like a professional.
And that's where the difference comes in, right? Let's talk about you as a mom. Coming in, there are serious physical struggle areas. Your body's gone through a trauma.
Yeah. Yes.
Having a child.
Pelvic floor.
Yes.
Go, Melissa.
Ab separation.
Yes, it is very real.
Yeah.
But having the understanding of what that translates to, what moves you can do, what moves you can't do, picking up on the slightest, like for instance, as a pregnant woman or postpartum, up to 10 weeks, you should not be turning the body. You should not be twisting the abs. Oh, wow. Because it creates that split. It enhances the split. So, you know, if you don't have an eye for that, you're not focusing on it. Yeah.
So when it comes to the instructors, who are you looking for? What were some of the things that you were looking out for?
So I would say technical competency number 1, because there is something to be said about someone who really just knows innately what they're doing. So that will always be, again, that's a basic standard. However, partnered with the fact of being a human with empathy. That's really, if you can partner those two, you will find, because we don't all show up in the same way. For instance, between Melissa and myself, we have a very different show up method. She is quieter, she's more subdued, but she commands a room when she's in it. She commands a room. I am the one who is just downright batshit. You know?
Just go.
Yeah. I am jumping around. I am so excited. On Saturday, I started a class 2 minutes early because I was just so excited.
You were ready.
Everyone was like, we still got some time. I was like, okay, just give me a second. You know, that's the passion. The energy comes with believing in what you bring to the table. And the empathy is just being a good person, man. Understanding that people are going to come there, have had bad days, have had fights with their partners, have been sick, have no confidence, and just looking at them and meeting them where they're at and just saying, hey, I got you. Don't worry.
And that's so beautiful and inclusive, because I love that you didn't answer a specific personality type, because we all are different.
And you can't have too many of the go people, you know, because that's overwhelming. So finding the balance between, there are some people who I know come into my class and are like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. For my, you know, if they're in a really high pressurized job, which they do have loud push, they're needing something calmer, something with more reflection, something with a slower pace, you know. Or you have the people who, I'm just struggling to get out of bed, please motivate me. And then that requires you to go from the depths of your soul to say, girl, I see you, I know it's hard, but we are coming out. Yeah, and we're doing it. And let's put on some bad girl music and let's drop down low. You know, so something works about that.
Yeah. See, I think I'm a really good example. Like, I needed someone like Melissa, because I'm very much like.
So you needed to slow down.
Needed the slow down,
Okay.
like breathe, like be calm, and I feel like maybe.
I'm gonna join. I also love Melissa's class, the calm, but I'm also on the.
I feel like you need. Yeah, you need.
I'm gonna join you for a class.
You have to.
Yes.
You have to.
Okay. Tomato. I just want to say.
I like everyone tomatoes. This is weird. I need to tell you something, and I've never said this to anyone else. For the life of me, I could never work out in just like a sports bra and like a shorts or even shorts, because it's always been long pants. Because I mean, people have insecurities about their bodies, and I guess like it's always like a learning curve. But I could not. I was like, you can't see my stomach. People can't see my stomach. Like, it's just like absolutely no. But being, I don't know, I want to say the word empowered. Like I felt so empowered in Alive, where now I'm the first person like, woo, there goes the top. And like, I feel like, do you know what? Everyone in the studio, we're all different sizes. Some of us are tall, some of us are much shorter, some of us are stronger, some of us are weaker. But it's not like this comparison thing. And that's what was beautiful for me, the fact that there isn't this comparison. Like, everyone comes there, we've got our own backstories, but we can come alive. And like, we can just be who we want to be, who we need to be in that moment. So I just thought I'd
the
say
culture
that.
is amazing, because I'm also like, when I stepped in for the first time, I was so conscious, like, how am I looking? But it was just so cool to see everyone around me, like, nobody cares. You go there to have a good time and exercise, and it's just a beautiful culture.
Because I think even now we know there's like a growing influencer culture now in Alive as well. And I've also been to classes where they've maybe been more like influencers, but despite that, there's still an authenticity that's taking place. It's not, dare I say, and I don't want to compare because that's not the spirit of it, but compared to maybe some of the very Cape Town-esque studios, like, just the overwhelming need where you need to have certain workout clothes, you need to look a certain way, you need to, if you're not filming the class, if you're not like posting, you're not doing it. Despite maybe having like 2 or 3 influencers in the room with me, I didn't feel, oh my word, like I'm not supposed to be here anymore. And I think even maybe for someone that's even less on social media, like if there's like people that come to mind in the class where they very, very, very quickly could feel out or like they don't belong in a Cape Town studio, they still feel like they belong even at Alive, despite, the growing traction amongst influencers, which I think it's incredible that you guys have managed to keep that culture.
Do you have these conversations with the instructors about how to create that culture within a room? Or is it just something...
I think it's just by the way of the people that we've chosen, to be honest with you. And I'm a big believer in you leading the class as you see fit. So I don't put norms and practices. There's a time limit of what you're expected to be in the room for. But apart from that, I really trust the instructors to run their classes as they want and as they see fit. On the topic of influencers, I mean... it's a really hard one because their job is to take content, But I thankfully have never paid an influencer to come to Alive. I've never done a brand exchange or anything like that. In the beginning, I approached one woman who I just loved her. She was super authentic and honest, and she just showed up, warts and all, and there's something so refreshing about that. Yeah. And so I said, listen, would you be interested in that? And she said, cool, let me come to the studio. And she came and she said, I'm sorry, I don't want to do a brand partnership with you guys. I just want to come on my own accord.
Oh, that's even better.
That's amazing.
Even better. Because she said she didn't want it to be work for her.
Oh, wow, okay.
It was a place where she felt that she could just be.
That speaks for itself. It just shows you.
Yeah.
And that is incredible because, I mean, I'll also tell you right now, if I see people like scrolling on Instagram during a class of mine, I will very firmly ask them to leave. Yeah. Because, no, this is a place where the phone, it can be used as a tool if you need it for a place and time. Yeah. But for everyone else, there's a respect level within the class. Not everyone wants to be on camera. Yeah. Most people, when they're working out, do not want to be on camera.
Me.
Yeah, exactly. Me. So just being respectful of the fact that you might have the person who is attending Alive for the first time in the room, who has just put on their exercise clothes for the first time in a year and are feeling horrific. What does that translate to their experience? So, yeah.
The power of social media.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, does that play a role in your business plan to help it grow?
Absolutely.
And how have you seen it work for you?
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know whether you guys know, but Google has changed the metrics of success in terms of search engine optimization, or where you appear on the search results of a page. What it previously was the amount of traffic you had on your site determined where you appeared on the search results. That is no longer the case. They are now measuring you according to a principle which is called the EEAT principle. I can't remember exactly what it stands for. But in general, it's about your authenticity as a brand. It's about how you're educating your customer. It's about how trustworthy you are as a brand. So what that means is, when someone comes onto our site, do we finish the user journey for them? Are they going onto pages where they are leaving? Are they leaving because they're not getting the answers that they need? Are they then searching something different after going to your page? And you don't think about it naturally. But most of us, when we have pictures on a website, those pictures are labeled image 0767. As you would think it would be, because you're just uploading it from your camera roll. No. For the blind person reading your website, they can't read what image 067 is. They want to see women holding a Pilates pose, looking out of a window, so that they have the ability to visualize in their own minds what they're reading. And if you are not, it's another level. If you're not doing that, you are appearing low on search engine optimization. Similarly, if you are making claims on statistics, or say I said 46% of the people that come to our studio suffer from heart disease, and I didn't reference the fact that that was from a medical journal, it's like university level referencing. So it's making businesses accountable for the statements that they're making, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
No, Google did a good job there. Because
a great
it's not
job.
just about traffic, but it's about how trustworthy the brand is.
Should you really be trusting these people when you can put anything on a website, you can put anything on your LinkedIn profile, you can be the CEO of whatever, you know? So how do you really know who to trust?
Yeah.
And this is something that is circumventing, you know, that distrust happening in the marketplace, which is awesome.
It's things that people don't think about when you start a business. Just like, okay, I'm going to run this, but you need to think about how is it going to show up on socials as well.
Yeah, so the back end of what that translates to is everything requires planning. Everything requires intention. Everything requires a link back to something which is part of the broader strategy. Wow. Okay. So I'm using my business brain more than I ever have to the full extent, even though I'm showing up as a fitness instructor. Yeah. And that's the ego of self. It's the only person that's shouting at me is me.
Yeah. Nobody knows about all of these things.
Exactly.
And this is like for all the people listening that told Amy, "Oh, you're gonna waste your talents." Yeah. Like you heard it here first. She's using more of her business brain now. Take that.
Exactly.
And then on the analytics side, I just
she's a sucker for analytics.
Yeah.
You have to be.
On the analytics side, so obviously you also get a lot of data. People using the journey, how satisfied your customers are, all of those things. Do you guys have tools that you're using to understand your impact or analyze your impact? What are you guys doing?
Yeah, so obviously G4 Analytics, Google Analytics is a baseline measure of what every business should be focusing on and doing. If you're not looking at your Google track record and where people are searching things most and how to use your keywords with your marketing, you're missing out on something entirely. But it's an overwhelming jargon to take hold of. You know, it is. For the layman's terms, you know, when I'm telling people how I'm doing my JSON codes at the back, they're like, what?
Yeah, it's part of my job, so I love these things.
Yeah.
You see? And if you do love them, it's awesome. But if you don't love them, you are likely to want to put your head in the sand and act like they don't exist. Yeah. So first things first, use ChatGPT. Use it. Allow yourself to be a sponge and just type in, say, I am starting at an absolute basic, help me understand XYZ. And that's where I say knowing what you don't know and being okay with saying it and saying, look, this is the feedback I'm giving you from the very minimal knowledge that I have, but this is the feedback that I have for the moment. That's okay. You don't have to know everything. Yeah. But you can say, I'll get some feedback and I'll let you know once I have firm, you know. Yeah. So in a culture where instantaneous response is required, to press pause. No, it's not. I'll take my time to get back to you with information that is valid and right for your situation. And there's something to be said about just saying, I won't be pressured into answering, or because we know everything is now. I want it now. You talk about challenges. I was sick.
Like the entire Somerset West?
Yes. Swine flu.
Yeah.
Yes.
Truly.
Swine flu.
No, real. Very real, you know? Yeah, hell of a thing.
Yeah. Did you have something like now? Is that what you were?
I'm pretty certain it was.
Yeah.
I mean,
we were there a week and a half ago.
Everyone was so sick.
Everyone was sick.
I mean, I was 5 instructors down at the studio. We obviously moved into the space 2 weeks earlier. So this timings-wise to get sick was the worst possible time. I'm now teaching more classes than I ever have, which is, you know, it's intense on the body. Yeah. But I basically hit a moment where everything overwhelmed me. And I was just like, can I do this? Can I do this? And I put my head in the sand. And for 5 days, while I was literally man down, I just hoped and prayed that everything wasn't going to fall to the ground. And no, it didn't. But I did get a 1-star review on Google.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I did. And I have to take accountability where accountability is due, because there was a lady who sent me a WhatsApp. And basically, I don't know if you know this, but her chats were archived in WhatsApp, and it was the setting where new chats didn't come into my inbox. They actually remained archived. So I had a whole bunch of messages that I hadn't seen.
And that's a real thing that does happen. It does happen.
It's an honest mistake, but at the same time, I realized that she was missing communication from me. But basically, the review said, everything started out great. I really loved the studio, loved the instructors. But then I made outreach to Amy and she didn't respond. And ignoring your customers is absolutely unacceptable. Sure. Now, in that moment, my heart dropped. Not only is that very damaging to the brand, but I take that sort of feedback incredibly personally. And I felt super responsible. And what I decided in that moment is every part of me wanted to be like, what am I going to do? I just messaged her and I said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that this was your experience. In all honesty, this is the truth about what happened. I've been man down. I'm 5 instructors down. My kids have been sick. It has been an absolute whirlwind. So please, if I can just ask you to take the review down, just because it's super damaging to the brand. But the interesting part was she'd been with us for 4 months before and loved the studio and never wrote any good things about us. People jump at the opportunity to write a negative review with no idea of the impact on the brand. And she did take it down, and I was very grateful. And I mean, it's funny now that I'm making it public, even though it's been taken down. But there was a lesson in there for me, which, I don't know, it's a hard one because, yes, I should be available for contact. And yes, there should be levels of communication. But when you're starting a new business, you don't have money for resources. We've now implemented Lindsay, who's running our administration, and that happened the day after I got the review, was when I was like, cool, we are taking control. This is happening. So it took that circumstance for me to be like, wow, but you don't know what you don't know. You're trying your best with what you have. Shit is going to happen. And knowing that and being okay with that and not taking it back as a failure, that's probably the hardest thing. But then also teaching people that you're allowed to be sick. You're allowed to be off work. You're allowed to be unreachable. And that's okay. Because there are boundaries that we need to be able to put in place to protect ourselves.
And I guess it's also going to a space, obviously you guys have the business now for a year. But at some point, the business needs to continue even if you're not there, so that you can go on holiday, so that you can rest, so that you can do other things as well.
Yeah, well, a friend of mine she runs a very successful gym in Somerset West, CrossFit gym. And she said to me, the hardest part was realizing that the more she attached herself to the brand, the more limited the brand was, because she couldn't take leave. Investors didn't want to invest in her because it was so tied to her as a person. So
Hectic.
Interesting.
Hectic.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I can understand that, because if it's tied to a person, it means you need to be perfect.
High risk.
Yes. But if it's a brand and there's like a culture coming in, that is where you can build it. Yeah. Because otherwise, if you make a mistake publicly, it will impact the whole business. Yeah.
And in this day and age, everything that you say is basically online, so even a podcast of this nature, this is an online thing. People will be able to listen to it. My kids, when they grow up, are going to be able to listen to it, and that's incredible. But there's a huge level of risk that comes into that. So when you talk about choosing the people that represent your brand, choose carefully, man.
You're doing a
Choose
good job.
carefully.
You are doing a really good job,
Yeah, but it's more about when people leave, and if it doesn't work out for the best, what happens then?
But I love that you took accountability in that moment. So it's a twofold thing, that you also need to be able to race, but that you said, I'm sorry, let's do it better. And you actually made a change in your business model, which,
And ultimately, communication is the key one.
Back to Enneagram.
Back to Enneagram. If people know and understand, they are able to process things entirely differently. And when I told her the story that I wasn't well, in the moment, had I just said, hey, I am man down, I'm going to get back to you as soon as I can. All of this would have been avoided. But because of WhatsApp specifically, I mean, it's a huge trigger point for me. I hate WhatsApp.
Me too.
I hate it.
I hate it as well.
I have so many unread messages.
I hate it as well.
Yeah.
People think I'm dead. I'm not even joking.
No, I hate it as well.
Yeah.
Just from a business perspective, because everything happens through WhatsApp now, and I guess clients, they can message you on a Saturday evening, and if you don't respond on a Saturday evening, then they'll like spam you Sunday morning, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but like nowhere is this right. Like this isn't.
But then I think the positive side of it is actually forces you to think about how am I going to set up my business that it doesn't encroach on my personal time.
Burner phone.
Well, maybe not even, I'm thinking even not making your number available, but maybe doing it through a website to say, I don't know, I'm thinking about the business side of it, but it just helps you to say, okay, how can I?
Well, I mean, I did the whole 2 phones thing, okay? Business phone, work phone, worst idea of my life.
Oh no.
Because it just had double the amount of messages on
no.
2 separate mechanisms.
Double the amount of anxiety.
Double the WhatsApp.
So it's interesting, and we've just developed a new number for Alive because we've got Linz who's helping from an admin perspective. Okay. And I want there to be a place, but you talk about future technology, AI is going to be running that WhatsApp. You know, you can get a chatbot. And again, if you're not using AI, if you're not allowing it to be a strategic resource, don't allow AI to be the base of your business. Don't allow AI to determine every form of communication. Write what you believe is the basis and use it for refinement. Use it for strategic thinking. Use it for question asking. Perfect. But the moment that you are only relying on AI and forgetting about the human, it's never going to work. But in that instance, we're using the tool. Yeah, so we're trying our best to make sure, if anything fails, communication is not it.
Yeah.
I like your business brain, I just want to say.
Thank you.
I can feel how excited you're getting.
I want to work for you, can I?
Always.
No, but I wanted to ask if we can hear a little bit about your future dreams.
Yeah.
What do you want to do for Alive for the future? Is there any franchising?
How is Alive coming alive?
Yeah, so it's incredible, and I know I briefly touched on it earlier, but basically my sister, who was Kelly, she was 10 years older than me, my absolute best friend, Cull and I were chalk and cheese. I am the person who's like A-type, driven, spreadsheet, and she was just like love. And she would give you the shoes off her feet, the coat off her back. I'll give you a coat if I've got a spare one. But like, am I going to take my coat? No, probably not. Unless it's a dire situation and I know you. But she was just that type of person. She just so naturally gave from herself, which was both a blessing and a curse because with a lack of boundaries, people disrespect you. But basically, she taught me the importance of coming back to basics. And she always used to say to me, don't put on your corporate voice with me. Don't put on your corporate voice with me. I used to be like, okay, because I used to say in terms of. She'd say, if you say in terms of with me, or I'll circle back to you about something. Just jargon, you know.
I'll take my jacket back.
Exactly. So Cull's passing was a huge shift in my life. I mean, she was missing for 3 days. She died in a hiking accident. It was really the most brutal thing that a family can go through. And still to this day, I don't think, we're now 5 years on, and I don't think I've fully processed the fact that I don't think she could walk through the door at the moment, you know. But her leaving the earth, I made a promise to myself that I was going to make meaning in her death.
I don't know why I'm getting so emotional. Because, sorry.
But that is, if someone dies and you believe that they had a bigger purpose, take that on. Learn a lesson from it. And if you'd asked me 5 years ago what if I'd owned Alive now, what my dream, it would be to own 50 Alives in the world and to have it be the biggest, best brand in the world. And as of now, we've had 9 offers from companies and businesses to expand.
Wow.
Which is amazing. And I've said no to every one of them.
Again, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. But there is risk in scaling,
Yeah.
culture-wise,
Yes.
because culture generally can't be scaled in the same way. Unless you are building, say I built one of our instructors up, they moved with me for 3 years and they understood truly what it is that I'm expecting, then it's, then you can replicate it. But having an external person come in with their own ideas, they see the vibe of the brand, it's going to be something different. And that's where the vision becomes blurred.
Because you carry the heart for it.
Correct. And that, again, talking about scalability, talking about financial limits, there is a limit that comes with only owning one studio. And yes, I do want to grow it, but I want to grow it in the most holistic sense. So our corporate wellness, that is huge. So to go into corporates, teach them how to breathe, how to move, how to, using the Enneagram, improve their mental health at home and at work, that is going to be how we better ourselves as a society. The growth is not necessarily in just the physical assets. It's in the movement itself. So on the 22nd, I'm doing an event with 8 influencers with north of 65,000 followers each, I think, which is absolutely ginormous. I mean, it's a huge opportunity for us. We're appearing in Roy Rosa in August.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so like it's happening, it's growing organically, but I'm really handpicking the opportunities that I feel strongly about aligning with.
Yeah.
And that's what will make your brand thrive in the long run, because you don't want to dilute what you already have.
Correct.
Yeah. No, that's really good. But thank you for sharing about your sister.
Yeah, I mean, my sister also, she's my best friend. So I think that for me, I think that's why I got emotional, because I think there's like a very, I don't know, sister bond. It's like a different type of bond.
Yeah, there is. And you don't know what that is until it's gone.
Until it's gone.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional on your part.
No, and I always speak with a level of distance to it, because I think if you allow me to, I can go there and it's incredibly deep. But she was just the most positive person that I'm like, I just have to shine her light. If I do anything. It's just that, and now I'm the type of person who walks into a class before I do it, and because I feel like it's just the safest space possible, I'll be like, I've got deodorant marks. I feel uncomfortable about them. I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah.
It's
and
happening.
then afterwards, I'm like,
Why would you do that?
Why would you do that?
That's how people love you. Like you
Honestly, that's
you
why.
just switch up where you are. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's every day just showing up, not really knowing how it's going to plan out. Just try your best.
Try your best.
Try your best. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. And just for I remember when we started the podcast, like one of the first things, like last year when we were like, oh, podcast, I remember thinking like, I so badly want to have you onto the podcast. But I thought, no, like
we were
Amy's
even
so
making
busy.
jokes about how are we going to introduce
Like how are we gonna,
it? Like,
because
hey,
you're running this amazing studio, like why would you even give time to being on a podcast? And it's just been so incredible. So thank you.
But that's where you have to see value in the work that you are doing. And that's, as women, we don't look at ourselves enough and see what we bring to the table. And truly, like if there's one thing that I leave you with is that you are incredibly capable in your own right. Never let the light be dimmed. Don't let people's toxic opinions stop you from doing whatever it is you want to do, because stuff like this is inspiring. Makes people want to show up. I've seen you in your pink burned outfit, and every time I see you, I think, damn it, I love that. I love it. Because you do it.
Thank you.
Truly. Yeah. So just realize what you're bringing to the table. It's honest, it's real, and it's flippin' amazing.
Thank you.
And just know that that's how we feel about you. It's just, it's such an incredible, just knowing a business owner in Somerset West that's just, I know, I don't want to say thriving, because I think that every day has its own challenges. But despite the challenges, you're rising up. You are thriving in your own right. And I don't know, you're setting an example and creating a safe space. And it's a place where if you're not, and I'm speaking to you, if you're not at Alive or you haven't been at Alive,
Please go.
Go. Because it's an incredible space.
And then obviously we only see one picture when we go to the studio and we just see the fitness side, but hearing your business side as well and just your heart behind it, like for me, it's just incredible. Like even the fact that you said there's some imposter syndrome. From the outside looking at you, like you're owning it, you're like going for it. And it's just so beautiful to see. So thank you for being such an amazing example for us.
Only a pleasure.
We love your business.
We love your business.
And I love yours.
We're going to go give 5-star reviews.
Yeah. We don't have a business. This is just free time fun things.
This is fun for us.
But you're building it.
We are building.
Yes.
There's a vision.
There's a vision. Yes.
It's a passion until it's a business.
More passion. More
energy.
More passion.
More energy.
Next time we'll coordinate.
But thank you so much, Amy.
Thank you guys, and keep it going. I'm going to be listening avidly from the sidelines.
And we'll leave 5-star reviews.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Guys, that was so much fun.